we're
the BiblioteCar. So we're addressing the global issue of education for all. And first of all, we'd just like to ask you guys a question. So how many of you guys actually like to read and have it as a habit?
Yes, not so many, but it's okay. But it illustrates the situation in Brazil as well. Young children and teenagers do not maintain the habit, which leads to terrible consequences in their future. Unfortunately, most of the Brazilian population doesn't have access to the same education as we do. And we're going to talk
So we have gathered some statistics that are down in your desk. So if you guys please check.
Can you look if you are
If you have. Your chairs.
There's.
So if you have the stats, please stand up and read it. It's by order.
We should have 6.
So number 1, can you please stand up and read?
In a recent survey on the habits, Brazil ranks 27 out of 30 countries.
Here we go. Okay. So you can read it.
On average, 37 children visit the public library in the state of Lobato a day, and over 60% go looking only for toys.
This was the first one.
Oh,
Who has number
a little
2?
bit out of order.
Yeah.
Next. Number 3?
In 2007, there were a total of 172 million people in the country, with 77 million non-readers, of which 21 million were illiterate. As for the readers, which totaled 95 million, read on average 1.3 books a year.
And that includes mandatory books such as work and school.
So number 4.
On average, 37 children visit the public library in Monteiro Lobato a day, and over 60% go looking only for toys.
We actually went to that library and we researched this based on some of the PASB. Number 5.
Brazil had 3.6 million children and adolescents out of school in 2011.
Of every 10 high school students, 1 abandons school without completing.
Yes.
As well as many who don't even attend school.
Okay, so probably you guys saw this video in our trailer, and we're gonna play it again so that we can explain more about the situation in Brazil regarding this disregard for reading.
Você vai estar fazendo com 18?
18 ainda é menor e maior.
Se fizer 18 já é maior. Até 18 é menor.
Ó, presídio.
Presídio? Você acha que vai para lá?
Sei. Vai. Vai, o presídio eu moro.
This is a very sad video because it portrays something that we might not see every day, but it's invisible to our eyes. All those children and teenagers we see every day walking down the streets and going to public institutions or saying that they're going, many of them have this mindset on them, which is not very good for their future or Brazil's future. So, in Salvador, we decided to learn more about this issue in our community specifically, and we went to the Monteiro Lobato Kids Library.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, at the Monteiro Lobato Library, the kids lacked the pursuit of reading. They actually went to the library since it had presentations, theater presentations, and other entertainment activities. And they usually did not go there to read. So as our statistics showed, 70% of the kids went there actually to have the activities and not to check out books, which was actually really.
Yes, and we can see by those pictures that the library is actually very well furnished. The problem in Salvador is not the lack of libraries or of children's books. It's just the problem lies deeper than that. Children do not have the wish to learn to read or to actually like to read. And here we can see some things.
Yeah, we took some pictures with some of the things that were at the library. A leitura dá asas à imaginação, so reading gives wings to imagination.
It's a very good place. The accommodations are amazing, but the public that goes there is not interested in books. They're interested in presentations and free fun.
People even do crafts. These are CDs that are like handmade and decorated to decorate the library.
So, one of our teammates was not able to be here today. She will talk a little about this.
Other moments of research. We went to a public library here in Santa. It was a normal library with only a section for kids. There we were impressed with the amount of kids that were actually in the section. But we discovered that they weren't reading, they were only watching a theater presentation.
So, in the day that we went to this library, there were about 30 kids in the library. And we could all see them moving, but when we actually stopped to analyze what they were doing, there were only 2 kids actually reading.
So we made an interview with the librarian. She was actually talking about this issue and how kids were more than in the theater presentations and performances.
Boa tarde, meninas. Funciona dessa forma. Nesse setor infanto-juvenil, é captar as pessoas de maior idade, de 16 a 14 anos. E para você poder ter acesso a esse livro, você tem que fazer a carteirinha. Você tem que trazer o comprovante de residência, a identidade e o CEP, o número atual, o toque dos atuais. Para mim, você tem direito de levar 2 livros por mês. Durante esse período, você vai ficar 15 dias com ele. Eles têm mais até para assistir peças. Também. Não tem um problema. Você acha que eles têm um problema? Eles têm que tirar o momento pura, né? É divertimento. Comigo também é, né? Mas só que as crianças hoje em dia preferem mais a coisa ao vivo, né? Eles só querem matar a trabalho, né? Seria bom ela ler mais com certeza.
Okay, so as you can notice, even the librarian encouraged the fact that the kids didn't actually love the books. And she was saying about how the idea that they prefer to see things live instead of actually reading, so seeing presentations instead of actually reading the text.
So, even of the resources, the libraries like one thing mostly, the interest on part of the readers. The problem is not on the existence of the public libraries, but on the public's wish to engage in this activity. We also had experiences with 3 other institutions. We talked to kids from 3 public schools in Salvador. And Barbara, our colleague in the next video, she will be talking about her experiences, which they seem absurd, but they're actually real.
I believe that what inspired our group the most to start our project was the situations each or most of us experienced in which we realized the scarcity of the love for reading in our community. In the beginning of our research, when we went to an orphanage and we brought books so that we could interact with the kids and see how they were in relation to reading, I talked to a little girl, she was about 6, and I asked her if she wanted to read with me, and she said, no, I hate reading. And so I asked, is it only you, or do all of your friends hate reading too? She said that all of her friends hated reading, and if she could, she would burn all of the books in the orphanage. Talking about this with my group members only motivated us and inspired us more to continue with this project.
So it's absurd. The kids were saying that they wanted to actually burn the books, which made us shocked. And as Barbara said, this is actually really serious.
So we did hear those words. And from our research with kids from other institutions, more than half didn't maintain the habit of reading, and they didn't see why they should. So, in fact, we even asked them about it in relation to the NA or the vestibular in Brazil, if they wanted to take the test, if they had interest in the future regarding that. And these were some of the quotes.
Some of the responses, and then, why bother? I know I'm not going to pass.
And
So they don't even have the confidence in themselves. They don't believe that they can pass in it, which is a test that they are all prepared to actually take. This was by Paulo. That was the team.
whatever, I'll just become a maid anyways, coming in 12 years old. Again, names were changed for their privacy, but it's a very serious issue because it's as if they have been brainwashed into the system to believe that they're not capable of, and that reading will not take them anywhere.
It's also as if their families tell them that she said she's gonna become a maid anyways. She already believes that she's gonna be set in this life that's not even meant for her. She can like go further than that, but she believes she doesn't.
Reading is boring. I don't think I'll be going to university. Even if I graduate, I'll still be poor.
So they did poverty, but it doesn't matter. She'll not even try. She'll probably not go to university. Even if she graduates, she'll still be poor.
This goes back to a story we have heard repeatedly in our school about that our teachers always illustrate to us. That is the child in the public institution in Salvador and Brazil in general. They go to school and they see their teacher getting the same bus as they're getting. They don't see them going anywhere in life. They don't see that it's changing anything. They see the drug dealer doing much better. They see the singer or the hustler or even sometimes the CrossFit's amazing. Other things, and they could go so much further than that if they open their minds to it.
So, but reading opens doors, and by saying doors, we don't actually mean doors literally, but opportunities in life, which is why we wanted them to have this habit of reading, to have more opportunities and actually believe that they can do it.
The important factor is that when stopping in the threshold from childhood to adulthood, several Brazilian teenagers we talked about, and others that we know of, will feel as if they have reached a dead end. Like the boy in the first video, they think that their future lies in jail or the grave. Others, like the kids we interviewed, who think they do not have a future at all. But they're incapable of going to university or passing a test, or many other things they could do. They're born into a system that doesn't invest as much as they do, and therefore, that's why we came up with this initiative. We wanted to develop a real opportunity so they become open-minded citizens from in all this hall, they all come to this street, and door by door, we get closer to creating a better society with less inequality, with corruption, and others.
So there's another of our team members, and she's actually going to explain how this is a cycle in the video. The lack of education brings social, political, and economic problems, and she's going to explain this.
Brazil's poor education system can be illustrated in a cycle. Lack of education causes social, political, and economic problems to Brazil. But the opportunity it will bring social, political, and economic benefits to our community.
So, what she is illustrating that reading related not only because your school tells you to, or you have or which not even that they have the desire to do, is education for life. That is what will change our country. That is what will change children and make them believe that they actually have a future. That what they do can influence their community and greater impact their city, their state, and even their country.
Which brings us to our solution. So our project, it consists in the building of a mobile library, which is why the name is BiblioteCar. In Portuguese, biblioteca is library, and car is car, so mobile library. And if you just say it out loud, it spells like biblioteca.
So, as the name implies, the project consists of a mobile library. But there are libraries in Salvador. But it doesn't simply take interest in the books they have to offer. That's why BiblioteCar goes further than that. We encompass a reading campaign, a continuous activity that is capable of incorporating the habit and showing its value to young people in Salvador. We first get inspired. This is a little.
Our project consists of the creation of a mobile library. through which we can take books to institutions in order to work with children in establishing the habit of reading from an early age.
So our big inspiration was from this guy.
So he's an Argentinian guy. His name is Raul Emerson, and he actually made this contraception, and he called it weapons of mass instruction. So it's where we took the idea of a mobile library.
So what he did was have a war tank. He's an artist. He made a war tank and filled it with books, and he went down the streets with it as if to fight illiteracy, to fight this disease that hurts the lives of people much more than other factors, than other technical factors.
Much more sense of words. So first, we collected books. As you guys could see in this video, we had a book drive in school. So we made a campaign in Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, so through mass media. And after collecting the books, we had to fundraise for the cards, which we bought for the mobile library. And with that, so the campaigns, Instagram, Twitter, these are some of the books we collected at school. Some more.
The flyer that was sent home to elementary parents. Because although we're focusing on kids from outside communities and who don't have as many resources, we believe that the issue is more universal than that. It lies in what is happening in our generation right now. So by doing this event, we had a long process of approvals and bureaucracy, and more approvals and meetings with several principals. And in the end, it all worked out fine. And
the kids had to pay a registration fee that was 30 reais. And in order to participate, and it also included face painting. The cheerleaders were also there. We had we also had big goods, which was also included in the price. face of the world. It's actually a small gesture. We're starting with little, but our intent is to actually make a greater change, and we hope that we actually do make it. So we think this quote can write for the situation perfectly.
Okay, that's it. So we were just gonna show you guys our website. So
And if you have any questions as well. So our video was left out at the part where I was explaining the pictures which were being shown of the cheerleaders for our fundraising event. Also, there was myself. I was doing face painting on the kids for our event as well. And along with that, there were some baked goods which were exposed. After that, we explained about the club that is being held in our school with the purpose of incentivizing the kids that study there to participate in our project and along with us to do some of the projects in the communities which we're helping.
yes, so what we are doing in this club is basically gathering volunteers so far and training them so that once we have our library totally built and we're set up institutions already, because like we're already starting to go but without the card. So, we will be able to have a team and make it a learning experience for everyone. And also for sustainability, we're arranging a partnership with the NGO Avante in Salvador, which is an NGO organization for education. And what we are getting ready is basically because they have a lot of teacher professionals. So by participating with us, they can help run the mobile library in a way that will actually teach the kids something and not only supply books. And finally, so that we always have a fresh supply of books and that it doesn't get boring.
We also ended the presentation with the quotes.
No, we're doing a teacher deal in our school, which is basically the teachers will, at the end of every semester, some teachers dispose books and they donate it sometimes to random places, sometimes they just sit in the classrooms. So now they will be going directly to BiblioteCar. So we can give them to children and even help in the institutions that they study at. So we ended with a quote. Yeah,
we ended with a quote that mainly said that even though our project is something that's starting little, our intent is that it can actually like help people and make a big impact in their lives, which is what we're aiming for. So yeah, that's our intention, and we really hope that it does have an impact in those children's lives.
I think it goes something like many small people in many small places doing many small things make a big change, and that's what changes the world. It's by Africanish something on the East Side Gallery of the Berlin Wall.
You guys can take a look at the presentation, even though it's silent, it's still there, so yes. Yeah,
that's about it.